All right, so yesterday we introduced Power Query and we looked at some examples of how to work with Power Query. So today I said we will be looking at how to import a large data set with Power Query. Yesterday we looked at how to import TXT files, that is files that are not in line with Excel, files that Excel cannot handle by default. Power Query can handle it. We also looked at how to connect to a database to download the data from it and move it to Excel. So those were the two things we did yesterday. So today we will look at how to connect to a large data set. The data is a CSV file or it is an Excel file, but the data has 2 million rows or 3 million rows, which Excel cannot handle. But you're being told that your internal software of choice is Excel. In your company where you're working, your company uses Excel to analyze data. But the data that you people have is more than Excel can handle. But you're being restricted to use Excel. So that is where Power Query comes in. When you have a large data set that Excel can now handle, but you're still being told to use Excel, that is where Power Query comes in. So let's go and look at an example here. So this is a data set from the USA, the state of is it Iowa or how will I pronounce it? But this data is a data set that has to do with the sales of liquor. That is the sales of wine, all these brandy, um, vodka, liquor, and any other wine that they sell in the USA. So this data set is a data for wine sales in the USA. Now, if you look at the number of rows we have here, you can see we have 31 million rows. We have 31 million rows and 24 columns. Now imagine loading 31 million rows into Excel. Excel will not even attempt to load this in. Once it loads to 1 million and it sees that it has more data, it might crash. But if you have enough memory, what it will do is select only 1.5 million rows and it will not delete the rest. That means it is you will lose almost 29.5 million rows because it will take 1.5 million rows and you lose 29.5 million rows. Imagine losing that kind of data. Imagine losing that amount of data. So you have 31 million rows here and you're being told to use Excel to handle this data. That is where Power Query comes in. Again, if you look at this data here, this is a data set for motor vehicle collision in New York. So in New York, they have a data set where they keep track of accidents that happens on the roads. So once there's accident on the road, the traffic camera there will pick up those accidents and record it to the system. You can see that this data set was updated today, right? This is 12th year. So this data set was updated today. So since 2021, they have been updating this data till date, but it was created in the year 2014. So from 2014, they started collecting this data up till now. They are collecting data on accidents on the highway. Imagine if the Nigerian government can collect data of accidents on the highway on a daily basis. You will see that we will have enough data that we can work with. But here now I'm going to the USA to get data because they have a very nice system whereby once accident happens on the highway, the system will pick that accident and record it in the system. Now, if you look at the number of rows we have here, you see we have 2.15 million rows. We have 2.15 million rows and 29 columns. So which means that this rows is still more than Excel number of rows. The rows we have here is still more than the number of rows that we have in Excel. So this is what we will use now to do our analysis. So we'll try to see if Power Query can load this 2.15 million rows, because we understand that Excel cannot handle it, because this is way above the number of rows that Excel can accommodate. But you're being told by your manager that you must use Excel to do your analysis. So we'll use this data set now for motor vehicle collision in the USA to understand how to use Power Query in Excel. Now the data has already been downloaded, so I have it on my system. So I will now connect with it and get data from it. Now, how do we use Power Query? We saw this in yesterday's session. Simply, you click on your data, you click on your get data option here. So now I am looking for a CSV file in my computer. So I will choose CSV. So I'll click on text or CSV. So I'll look for the place where I have my data. Now, this is the data I am talking about. This is the data I'm talking about, motor vehicle collision. Now, if you look at the size of this data, this is 444 kilobytes. So that is almost 444 MB, right? This is almost 444 MB, 444 kilobytes. Now, imagine loading this amount of data into Excel. Excel will not even attempt to load it. It will just crash. But we want to load it into Excel using Power Query. So once you click on data, you click on get data, you choose your file format, whether Excel file format or CSV or database file format, anyone you want to choose. In our own case, our own is CSV. So I will choose text or CSV. I will select the data of choice, which is this motor vehicle collision, and I'll click on import. Now, once I click on import, you give it some time to load because the data is too large. So you give it some time to load. Now, already you see that we have the data in our Power Query Navigator here. So this is our data. This is all our data. Now, this data is not being loaded with Excel. Power Query is taking care of this data. Excel has no business with this data now. Power Query is in charge of this data. So you can go through it and see all the record and the number of rows. So this is just a preview of the data. You can see that it says here that the data is in the preview has been truncated due to size limits because the data is too large. So it has truncated it to based on the first 200 rows. So based on the first 200 rows, we have a preview of the data. You can still do based on entire data set, but I just want to use a preview. Since the data is too large, and we can just get a preview of it. So once I choose this, I will just click on transform data. That is, we want to use Power Query to clean our data sets. Remember that Power Query, as I defined it yesterday, it is used for data cleaning and data transformation. So we use Power Query for data cleaning and data transformation. Now, when we come to data analysis, we have what is called data types. When we come to data analysis, we have what is called data types. Now, data types are simply who is that, please? Can you please mute your mic if you're here, please? Can you please mute your mic so you don't distract others? So the data types, as I'm trying to explain, it helps you understand the kind of values that any column will accommodate. Your data types help you or specifies the type of values that a particular column can store or can accommodate. Now, if you look at the crash date column, you can see that this is a column for dates throughout. This is the column for dates. So all the values in this column will be dates throughout. You will see a value that is not a date value here. So the data type of this column is a date data type because all the values in this column are dates. Same thing with this column. This is a time data type. So data type simply helps Power Query to understand the kind of values that a column can accommodate or a column can store. So this is a time data type. All the values here are all time. You won't see anything that is not a time value in this column. Everything here are all time. That is the time when the accident occurred. So even if it's 2 a.m. at midnight, the accident was still recorded. Imagine having accident by 2 a.m. and it was still recorded. And the date was on the 11th of September 2021. at 2:39 a.m. This is other columns that we have here. So you can just scroll around to see other columns. Now this is a data that has 2.15 million rows, but now we are seeing it in our software here, which is Power Query. If Excel is trying to handle this data, Excel will crash. But if you have enough memory, what it will do is pick only 1.5 million rows and will now delete the rest of the data. So you will now lose almost 600,000 rows of data, which is not the right way to do analysis. So this is how Power Query helps us. So simply, you look at your data. If there's anything you want to clean, remember that in data analysis, we undergo cleaning. So if there's anything you want to clean here, like in this column now, you want to delete this column, you can simply click here, right click, and remove it. So you look at also at other columns. If there are columns that you don't want to use for your analysis, you simply highlight it and delete it. Now I want to delete these columns here because I don't need it for anything. I want to delete those columns because I don't need it. So what I will do is you click on one of the columns, hold your control key, click on the other column, click on this column. So it helps you to select more than one column. When you want to select more than one column, you just click on one, hold your control key, click on the rest of the columns, and you have multiple columns selected. You can simply right click now and choose remove columns. So the same thing applies to other columns if you don't have a need for it. Remember, in data analysis, it is not every column that you need for your analysis. There are some columns that are important to you for your analysis that you will use. Others, you just delete them if you don't have a need for them. So I will assume now that my data is okay. My data is in good format, is in good shape. I don't need to do any other transformation. But if I still need to do any other thing, I will still continue with my transformation. For example, here now, this crash time, maybe you want to extract the hour from this time, because this is the hour and the minutes. So you want to understand the hour of the day when there is high rate of accidents. You want to understand the hour of the day when there's high rate of accidents. You can extract the hour from this time column. So you highlight the column, go to add column. You see time is already active. You choose time and you choose hour. So once I choose hour now, you can see that we have all those hours extracted for us. I can move it to the beginning of my table. Just right click on it, choose move, and click on to beginning. So we have it closer to our time here. Now you can see that this is what 2 at 2 a.m. we have 2 here. At 11 a.m. we have 11 here. At 1 a.m. we have 1 here, and so on. So you can see that this is the hour of the day when the accident occurred. So this is how Power Query helps you to quickly automate your work. You don't need to waste time to start thinking about the function you will use, or maybe how you will extract your data set. Just simply use the already predefined functions in Power Query and extract whatever you want to extract. It's as simple as that. Power Query makes life easy for a data analyst. Once you understand how to use Power Query, you will not even think of using Excel again. You just use Power Query to clean your data sets. When it's time for visuals, you can now easily move it to Excel for your visuals. So guys, I still believe you can see my screen because I don't know what happens. Can you still see my screen, please? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any questions so far, please? Any questions so far? Any question based on what I've explained? Any questions so far? All right. So we have moved our data into Power Query. Now it is time to load it back to Excel for doing our visuals. Remember, I said that Power Query does not do visualization. Power Query is not in charge of visualization. It is only there to do your data transformation. It is only there to do your data cleaning. But if at any point you want to do your visuals, what you now do is take your data from Power Query and now move it straight into Excel, where you can now do your visuals. But the reason why we do not use Excel to import this data is because the data is too large. Excel cannot accommodate this data. Even if it tries to accommodate it, it will only take its limits and delete the rest of the data. So we are trying to avoid that deletion of important data. So we use Power Query to now import our data set. If this data set is up to 20 million, 30 million, Power Query can still handle it. The only limitation is what? Is the memory of your computer. If you have a high memory computer, Power Query can work effectively. No matter how large that data is, Power Query is the engine that can handle it. So if you have seen a data set of 100 million rows and you're thinking which software can handle it, Power Query is telling you to bring it to its environment. It can handle it for you. Just make sure that you have enough memory in your laptop, because your laptop will allocate memory to it for you to enable it to load those data sets. So I assume my data is clean now. I now want to load it back to Excel to start doing my visuals. So I will click on close and load, and I'll choose close and load to. So when you click on this arrow here, it gives you two options. Choose the second one, please. Choose the second one. So I will click on close and load to. So when I click on close and load to, it gives us this option. Now this was where we are. What we saw yesterday. We saw the table, pivot chart, and only create connection. Now yesterday we used the table option. Now when you use the table option, it simply means you're trying to recreate that data again into Excel. Remember what we did yesterday when we imported a TXT file using Power Query. Now, because that data was small, right? The data was small, like maybe it has 100 rows or 1,000 rows. Excel can handle that data. But the only reason why we did not use Excel was because the data was in a TXT format, which Excel cannot import. So we used Power Query to import it and now brought the data back to Excel because the data was small and Excel can handle it. That is why we use the table option. So whenever you use Power Query to import data, but you still know that that data is small for Excel to handle, you can load it back to Excel using the table option here. Now, this pivot table report and pivot charts, it is not commonly used. It is not commonly used. The most important ones here are both the table or the only create connection. These two options are not commonly used, though they have their use cases, but they are not commonly used. So I will advise you ignore it for now. So we focus on only these two, the table and the only create connection. Now I've explained the table, how it works. I've explained the table, how it works. When you have data that you want to load back to Excel, because the data is small and Excel can handle it, you can simply use the table option. And the only create connection, this is where you now use only create connection when the data is large, like we have in our case now. We have a data of 2.15 million rows. Now you use only create connection. So this option, what it will do is it will create something like a link between Excel and Power Query. In this table option, when you load the data into Excel, Power Query will load it into Excel, and there will not be like a tight link between Excel and Power Query, because Power Query has given back Excel what it gave to it. So Power Query took that data, transformed it, and sent it back to Excel. It's just like, hey, guy, this is what you gave me to work on. I have finished working on it. Oh yeah, take it back. And Excel will take it back from Power Query. And you will now see it inside Excel sheets here. That is what the table option is doing. But for the only create connection, so you're trying to create a link, a connection between Power Query, and Excel. The data is large and Excel cannot handle it. So Excel is saying, please, this data is large for me to handle. And if I try to load it in my memory, I will hang or I will crash. So what we'll do is hold the data for me, but give me a link to that data. So at any time I need it, I will use that link and connect to you. So that is what this option is saying. So it's trying to create a link between Excel and Power Query. Power Query still holds that data. Power Query still holds that data. But there's now a link between Excel and Power Query. So whenever Excel needs the data, it will use that link and connect to Power Query, gets the data. With that link again, it will send it back to Excel. So that is what it simply means by only create connection. So I will choose this only create connection option here. And I will click on OK. I will click on OK. This one, or this option here has its own use case also. This option here has its own use case, but for now we'll ignore it because we don't need it for now. We'll just simply ignore it. So I'll choose only this option and I'll click on OK. Now let's see what will happen. You can see we have connection only here. You can see we have connection only. Now when I hover over it, you see our data is showing up here. The data we had from Power Query is still showing up, but it is not in our Excel worksheet. It is not in our Excel worksheet. Unlike the previous one we did yesterday, the TXT file, and we choose a table. The data will load itself back to our Excel sheet here. So we have a green table showing up here with the filters and everything. That is with the table option. So Power Query took that data, transformed it, and sent it back to Excel and said, I am done with my assignments. This is your data. But for the only create connection, you're simply saying, don't send it to me because it is too heavy for me to handle. But please hold it for me. Whenever I need it, I will simply tell you and you will send it to me. That is the connection only option. So you can see that the data is still showing up, but it is not inside our Excel worksheet. So that is how we connect Power Query and Excel when we have a large data set. Now you might be wondering, okay, since the data is not in our worksheet now, and we want to create a pivot table, that is, we want to do our analysis, how do we do the analysis? Because the data is not showing up here and we're not seeing it. This only create connection is what does the magic, because there's a connection between Power Query and Excel. Anything you're doing with Excel is going back to Power Query to connect with that data set. So that is why you have to choose the create only connection. So now, if I want to plot my visuals, that is using pivot table to plot my visuals, I can simply do my normal pivot table option, right? I will now go to Insert. I will click on Insert. I will choose pivot table. So this pivot table is used to plot your visuals. So when you go to WhatsApp, Twitter, or you go to LinkedIn or TikTok or Instagram, and you see people posting their visuals, and they said they use Excel to build it. This option here is what enables them to build their visuals. The pivot table is the option that enables every data analyst that uses Excel to build their visuals. The moment you're using Excel for your analysis, you will always use the pivot table. It is very important for an analyst who is using Excel for data analysis. Now I want to create my visuals, and the data is not in my sheet here, but we have a connection to it. So what I will do is simply click on pivot table. Now you can see that there is no table here that we are choosing, right? We don't have any table here that we are choosing. Now this use external source. This use external data source. When you choose on choose connection, you will not see anything. We are meant to choose this one, which is table or range. But now there's no table here that we can choose because there's no data here that we can choose. Now, this use an external data source. This use an external data source. When you choose it, you're not seeing anything here to connect with. Now, remember when I said when you choose the close and load to, and you have your options of table and only create connection. Let me go back there. Now, this option, right? So we have table and we have only create connection. And I said click on only create connection and click on OK. Ignore this option for now. Ignore it. So click on this option and you click OK. So when I clicked OK, it gave me this connection only, and it gave us the data as a connection. But when I now try to use pivot table to build my visuals, I am no longer seeing a way to connect to that data. This pivot table is meant to have a connection to my original data source, which is what I have here. But because I did not connect it correctly, that is why I am not seeing an option to connect to my data. Now, look at this option here. This use this workbook's data model, this option here. This option should be active. This option here should be active. Now, let's go back and see a way that will make this option active. So again, this is our load to. So from Power Query, you click on close and load to, and you click on only create connection. Now you have to choose this add this data to the data model. However, I think the reason why you have to choose this option, because this is a connection between Excel and Power Query. So this is how the connection happens. So you click on add this data to the data model when you have clicked on only create connection. When you click on table also, the option can also be chosen. So the best way to do it, if you're choosing table or only create connection, please always choose this option. Whether you're choosing table or you're choosing only create connection, always choose this add this data to the data model. So I will choose this option now. I'll click on OK. So it's trying to load now. It's trying to load. Let's give it some time to load. Now, you notice something different from what we did previously. In the previous one, what we had here was connection only. What we had here was what? Connection only. So there was a connection, but the connection did not join correctly. There was a connection between Power Query and Excel, but the connection did not join correctly. So, but when you choose that add to data model, it begins to load the data. So it's trying to move the data now from Power Query into Excel, but the data is not still in the sheet here. It is still in memory, but it's trying to load it now back to Excel. So Excel is saying, okay, send the data to me, still keep custody of it, but send it to me so I'll be seeing it, but still keep custody of it. That is what this option is doing now. You can see that it is loading almost 600 and something thousand rows. So let's wait for it to complete the number of rows that it has. So while we wait for the data to load, do you have any question? Let's answer questions, please, before we wait for the data to complete its loading. Do you have any question? If you have any question, any confusion, please, you can ask.
Yes, I have a question, please.
Please, I have a question. Good evening, sir. Um, please, my question is, sorry, I didn't start at the onset, and you told us that yesterday you're going to start from how we can import data from Power Query to Excel, because Power Query only helps us to transform the data before taking it back to Excel for analysis. So why you started this early today, I wasn't following. So I'm just pleading if you can recap so that I can follow along. Thank you.
All right. Please, for future classes, when it's 7, please, it's 7. I even waited till 7:15 to start class for those of us that we are here. So when it's 7, please make it 7 o'clock so you don't drag others back, please, for future classes or maybe elsewhere where you go to training. When it's 7 o'clock, please make it 7 o'clock so you don't miss important information or important lessons. Please, for other training you go to, it's good to always come on time, at least 5 minutes before time, so that you have to sit down and wait for class to start, please. But I'll still recap it, but I'm just making this as a general observation and maybe kind of an advice. Please always try to come early for webinars or training so you don't have to drag people back or try to say that you don't understand, please. But the recording will still be there. You can still watch the recording. However, I will still do it for the sake of those who we are late. Any other question, please?
Yes, sir, please, I have a question. My question is, this kind of data set that has millions of rows, how do they compute it in the first place?
The same way
which software can accommodate such data in the first place before trying to work on it?
A database can accommodate it. A CSV file can accommodate it. So there are many softwares you can use to accommodate your data. We have what is called a CSV file, comma separated value. So those kind of files can accommodate millions of rows. We have database files. We have TXT files. These files can accommodate millions of rows. So once you have those data in those files, you can use Power Query to import it.
Okay, sir. Please, are they software on their own, just like we have Excel? Are they software also?
No, they are not software. They are what we call file formats. They are what we call file formats. So maybe you can, on your own, you can go and read up on what file formats. You say it is still loading. One error here. Let's see the error, please. There's an error here, please. Let's wait and see what the error is. So let's fix this error, please. We have an error in the data. Let's try to fix this error. I don't know what the error is. Let's try to see the error. So this is what Power Query also helps you to do. When you have error in your data set, it tries to pull you back to where the error was. So let's see if we can discover the error. All seems good to me here. Let's see this. Please give me some few minutes to fix this. I don't know what's wrong, but let's try to fix it. I don't know what happened here. Okay, let's just ignore that error for now. Now, as I was trying to say about file formats, we have CSV files, we have TXT files, we have Parkway files, we have Avro files. Now, these are different file formats. You have your data. Maybe in your class now, you per 50 students in a class. That is your data. Now, where you store that data, you can store it either in a CSV file, in a TXT file, a Parkway file, Avro file, or any other file formats. So file formats are where you store your data. So this can be Amdor.csv, something like this. So you take the data for Amdor students and store it inside this CSV file. So if you can go and read up on five formats, and these are things we teach in our Amdor analytics bootcamp. These are things we teach in our training. We try to guide you on how to move the data from the software to this type of five formats. So if this is are confusing to you, when you join our masterclass or our real training, which is a 5-month training, we take you through all these things. So now it seems more of a confusing to you because the data is already prepared and you're working with it. But when you come to the training, we'll show you how we get this data and also how we move it from the source to the destination. So if you can, just read on types of five formats and how to detect them. You will see them there. All right. All right. So we have this data now that is loaded. So let's try to create our pivot table using this data here. So insert pivot table. Now you can see that this option is now activated. This option is now activated. So I will click on it and I will choose okay. Now this is our data inside pivot table. If this was to be with Excel, Excel cannot even attempt to do this. Excel will not attempt to do this because it will break even while loading the data set. But with Power Query now, it is easy to load 2,155,074,000 rows. That is with Power Query. But we know that Excel has only what? Has only 1,485,076 rows. So if you have this data, Excel cannot even try to load it. This is the beauty of Power Query. So no matter how large the data is, no matter how big the data is, just load it to Power Query. Power Query will take care of it and load it back to Excel for your visualization. That is what Power Query does for you. You can now start doing your visuals, but that is not my agenda for this training. My training is just to show you how to combine Power Query and Excel to do effective and flexible data transformation. So no matter any data you're working with, whether it is stored in a database, it is online, anywhere, Power Query can handle it. Now let me show you one more example before we take questions. Now I will go to my browser here. I will search for I'll search for hip hop dates. This is a Wikipedia link now. I'll search for hip hop dates and I'll choose the Wikipedia link. So this is a link, Wikipedia link, list of modern hip hop musicians. Remember our requirement from yesterday. Data is stored. That means an online data, we need to import it into Power Query. We need to import an online data into Power Query. Now, when Power Query comes to this website, when Power Query comes for is a table formatted data. That asked me yesterday that the data is stored in MS Word. Can Power Query connect to data in MS Word? And I said yes, if the data has a tabular format. So if your data has a tabular format like we have here, when you load this data into Power Query can extract this data from this website and move it into its editor. So simply, I will copy this link now. I'll copy this link. Once I copy this link, I'll go back to Excel. And I will use Power Query now to import that data into the editor. So I will choose Get Data. Let's look. Okay, from other sources, I will choose from web. I will choose from web because this is an online data set. The data is stored online. I want to choose an online data set. So I will paste that link that I copied. I will paste the link I copied. I will click on OK. So it's trying to connect with our data source. which is stored online. So it's connecting and it's connecting. So let's see what will happen once it connects. Always give it some time and be patient with it. Sometimes network and how it's trying to understand that website, it takes time. So you give it some time to load. Now this is taking time. Okay, let me try it again. I don't know. Let me try it again one more time. All right. Now we have our data. This is the web view, right? This is the website we try to connect. We try to connect to, and this is the entire website, our Wikipedia website. This is the web view. Now the table view. The table view. When I now when you come here, you can see it, the name, date of birth, date of death, age of death, and so on. So this data now, Power Query has only focused on it. You can see this is table 0, which is this table here, table 0. The document is finally somewhere, which I don't know where it is. But our focus is on what? On that table 0. Now Power Query has looked at it, understood that this is a tabular data set, and it will now pick it up. So this is our table. When you now click on it and choose transform data, you will have your data now inside the Power Query editor. So this is how easy it is for Power Query to get data from different sources. Power Query enables you to get data from different sources, whether it's database, online, anywhere at all. Power Query can connect with it. Now that data is now inside our environment here. We can simply now close and load it and move it to Excel, where we can now start doing our visuals. As simple as that. Now these things are not too complex. They are not too hard. Maybe it's hard to you now. It's like doing you like magic because it's your first time seeing this kind of thing. You have not imagined Excel doing this thing. Maybe they say you learned, they not teach you that this is a Power Query and what it can do. That is why you always have to invest in training providers that know what they are doing. It's not every training provider that knows this particular software. At the end of this training, I'll tell you a story, a real life story that happened, but I'll keep it at the end of this lecture. I'll tell you a story that happened, how someone lost a job because of something that they did not know. So it's not every training provider you see, you jump to, you pay your money and you learn. You have to ask yourself, are these people really experts at what they are doing? Do they understand the industry trend? Are they following industry trend? Are their tutors certified in what they are doing? In which places have their tutors taught? In which places have their tutors worked? These are things you should ask before you enroll for trainings. And when you come to Amdor Analytics, there's nothing you're looking for in Amdor when it comes to qualified instructors that you're not getting. So I will not move forward with this. Just you already know now how to load it. Just click on close and load and choose on close and load to. It takes you to your Excel where you can now start doing your visuals. So I'll just close this. But this was just a demonstration on how to use Power Query to connect to an online data source. So in these 2 days of training, we have looked at how to connect to a TXT file, which Excel cannot handle. We have looked at how to connect to a database. We have looked at how to connect to a large data set of 2 million rows, which is way above Excel's limits. we have looked at how to connect to an online data source. For the online source, just make sure you have a tabular format in that website. If the website has nothing like a table format, Power Query will not get anything from it. So make sure that the website you're trying to connect to Power Query has something like a table, rows and columns inside it before you can use Power Query to connect with it. So these are some of the use cases where you can use Power Query to work as an analyst. So Power Query is a very important tool that you have to learn as an analyst. You can't skip it. You can't skip it. Many training providers will skip it because they don't understand the market trends. They don't understand that this is what employers are looking for. You won't always be working with Excel files. You won't always be working with a data of 100 rows, 200 rows. No, imagine working with Access Bank or working with let's say Dangote or Innocent, that you know that they have large data sets, and you're being told to use Excel to handle that data. Or you're working with ShopRite that uses many different data sources. Their data can be on their websites, it can be in a database, or it can be in any source, and you're being told to use Excel to handle that data set. If you don't know this particular tool, how will you work on that data set? So when you see some training provider telling you that they'll offer you this, offer you that, ask yourself, do these people understand what the market needs? Do these people understand what is in vogue in the market? Are they qualified to teach you? Are the instructors really certified to teach you in this thing you're trying to learn? So when you invest your money, you know that yes, you're investing in the right training provider that will give you value for what you're looking for. So I will take questions at this point before I proceed. Any question, please?
Yeah. Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah. Yes. Thanks for this. This class is quite interesting. Yeah. I want to know. You spoke about the importing large data set into Power Query. Now my confusion is yes, when I after importing, so where did you click on to import? That's what in dialog box I saw import where you click on connection. I was trying to locate that particular dialog box. So I don't know where, because I click on I imported the data. I click on close, apply and apply. So that dialog box did not appear. So where exactly did you click to that import dialog box appeared? Where you click on connection. So please, that's my confusion, sir. Thank you so much.
I don't think I got you, but let me redo it. I don't think I got what you're saying, but let me redo it. So let me go back. It's not here. Okay, so you guide me, please. Let me know what you're saying. I don't think I understand what your question is. But
Okay, what I mean,
wait.
large...
Let me bring it out so you see it first. So
Okay.
let me know. So is this what you're asking for?
Yes. This dialog box. How that did it come about this import data? I was trying to locate it. I can't locate it. Yes, that is actually the dialog box. Yeah.
So when you're in your from your Power Query, when you finish doing your transformation, you click on close and load. This option here, click on the arrow, not on the option itself. Click on this arrow here. You get a drop down arrow, a drop down option. Choose on close and load to. Maybe you went and choose close and load. That's why you're not getting the option. Choose close and load to. Close and load to will give you that option, not close and load. You choose close and load. That is why you did not see the option. So choose close and load to. When you click, so when you choose close and load to, where are we? A minute, please. So when you choose close and load to, this option will come out. You now click on only create connection. Choose this add this data to the data model. Click on OK. So what you choose was close and load, and not close and load too. That's why you're not getting the option. So you can try it again and choose close and load too.
All right. Thank you. Thank.
All right. Any other question, please?
Please, I have a question.
Yes.
After working on our data and after preparing our visuals in our pivot table, where do we now build our dashboard? Is it in Excel worksheet, or is it also in um same what is it
Uh, I'm,
called?
I'm not teaching dashboard today. Like I said, my focus today is only on Power Query. But if you want to do your visuals, you do your visuals in Excel, which is your worksheet. So to do your visuals, you
Okay.
do it in your worksheet. But I'm not doing visuals today. My training is only on how to use Power Query with Excel. But to do your visuals, you do it in Excel worksheets. This is why you need to come for our paid training. We try to help you um, fix all this confusion and all these questions. This is why a paid training is important. When you please mute your mic, please mute your mic. When you come for a paid program, the tutor takes time and puts you through in all these things that is confusing you, because you can't invest your money in something and the tutor, the instructor will not come down and show you the directions. So it's not yes, most of you want to learn for free, but it's not everything that you learn for free. Sometimes you have to make a sacrifice and learn something. Some people will come to me and will tell me, sir, I want to be like this, I want to be like you. I'll ask them, have you made a sacrifice? What have you invested in? You can't just say you want to be like me when you have not invested something. If I tell you how much I have invested in training myself as a data analyst, you might be in shock, but that is the real truth. Before you see someone being an expert in what they are doing, go and check how much they have spent in that particular career path. So if you really want to build your career, if you really want to build your career to an amazing level, that when you come out and say you're a data analyst, people will say, yes, you know what you're doing. You have to enroll in paid programs. Not all paid programs are good, yes, but you have to enroll in trainings that know what they're doing. Like I keep saying it, enroll in trainings that understand what they're doing. Let the instructors know what they are doing. They understand market trends and they really understand what you need to succeed in the market. Because currently now you're not competing against your fellow job candidates. You're competing against AI, which you know. You're competing against ChatGPT, against DeepSeek, against Gemini and other AI softwares now. You're not competing against your fellow human. You're competing against AIs, and AIs are way more smarter than most of us here. Now, if you don't come prepared, how are you going to beat AI to the market? That's the truth about it. If you don't come prepared, how are you going to beat AI to the market? So when you want to build a career and you're sure you want to build a career, you have to invest money into it. You have to invest something. Something must leave your pocket. It's not everything that has to be free programs. I'm not saying free programs are bad. I'm not saying they are bad. I do free programs. I also attend free programs. But at some point in your career, you need to invest in something. All right. Any other question, please, before I move to my slides? Any other question? Any other career question? Any confusion? Apart from what you have done today, any other career question you want to ask? Any other thing you want to talk about before we proceed?
Yes, sir, please. I have another question. Also in data analysis. Please, sir,
Yeah.
what is Power Pivot?
Um, I'm not. I don't. Please don't confuse. Not. It's everybody that is as high as you here. Please, if you have those questions, you can maybe send me a DM or ask in the group. There's some things you don't talk in a program like this. It's not everybody that is advanced as you. Maybe you know those things. It's not everyone that's advanced as you. Please, if you have a question about those things, you can send me a DM or ask in the group where you belong. Someone might answer you. Please, it's not everything you answer in a training like this. Not everyone understand those things. I can see maybe you're advanced in your training. So let's not confuse others, please. So while we talk about Power Query, I want to talk about what Power Query can do for you. So one of it is connecting to data sources. So connecting to data sources, Power Query can connect to different data sources for you. Please, a minute, please. A minute, please. All right, sorry about that, please. So I want to talk about the what Power Query can do for you. It can help you to connect to different data sources. So you can with Power Query, like we have shown in this training, you can connect to different data sources using Power Query. Also use Power Query to clean and transform your data. When you want to transform and clean your data sets, you can use Power Query. To combine and append your data, you can also use Power Query to combine and append your data. This one I don't talk about is, but it is also possible to combine and append your data using Power Query. These are things you see when you come for our paid program. We don't hide anything from you. We give you everything you need for your training. Also to add columns, Power Query can help you add columns. So again, I welcome all of you to our 2 days bootcamp. Our bootcamp ends today. So I really want to thank everyone for coming along. But before I take maybe further questions, I want to talk about our paid program. I was talking about this program yesterday before my boss came in to address you guys. So since it's not here, I'm in the right position to talk about it. Now, when you want to become an analyst, for many of us here who are starting out or who is trying to understand what are things I need to learn to become an analyst. See, you don't need to learn too much softwares when starting out. Forget about those things they will tell you, go and learn Python, go and learn SPSS, go and learn eViews. No. There's only 3 softwares that you need to master before you begin your journey. This is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. This SQL now is the database that we try to connect with using Power Query. Now, if you don't understand how to use a database, how will you use Excel to connect to SQL? So these are the softwares you learn to become a proficient data analyst in the market. Every employer of labor, every recruiter is asking for these skills. You start with Excel. There's a reason why we start with Excel. Excel is the foundation of many softwares that we use in Nigeria here. Almost all companies in Nigeria here uses Excel. You use Power BI when you want to do your visuals, and you use SQL when you want to use your database. So these are the 3 fundamental softwares that you must learn as a data analyst. Now, you might be asking yourself why you have to choose us. Maybe you have tried other trainings, you have looked at other trainings, and you're wondering why you have to choose us for your training. Now, like this bootcamp, you have seen that we are an instructor-led program. We teach with instructors led. We don't tell you we give you recording, go and watch it and come back and we'll teach you. No, we give you a live training. Saturdays and Sundays is our live training. We give you an instructor-led program. We give you mentorship sessions. After training, when you need one-on-one with your instructor, you book a time during the week and we give you one-on-one sessions. After your training, we give you post-training support. We're not like other training providers that after training they will leave you and you can look for. No. After training, you still stay with us. We give you what is called post-training support. That is because we understand that you're new in the market. You're just trying to navigate the market. We help you understand how the market functions and things you need to do for you to put your foot forward. We give you job recommendations because some companies will want to get maybe a job, letter of a recommendation. We give you job recommendation for free. We don't charge you for those things. We give you job recommendations. Most of you are on LinkedIn. Now your LinkedIn cannot even attract a recruiter. Most of you are Upwork. Your Upwork cannot even attract a recruiter. In Amdor, we give you LinkedIn review for free. We give you Upwork review for free. We help you build your LinkedIn. We help you build your Upwork. There's something I told someone, that on LinkedIn, you don't look for jobs on LinkedIn. You attract recruiters to you on LinkedIn. You don't look for job on LinkedIn. Going to look for job on LinkedIn is a waste of time. You will get frustrated. You will get tired. So what you do is you prepare your LinkedIn and let recruiters come to you. And that is the truth about it. That is the truth about it. And we prepare our students with LinkedIn optimization. We teach you how to build a LinkedIn profile that attracts recruiters. For our current cohort of trainees, this coming week now, they will be having their LinkedIn review section, where we will help them brush up their LinkedIn. Most of them have LinkedIn, but they don't even know how to use it and how it functions. Also, we'll help you build real world projects, because at the end of the day, after your training, if you don't build projects, nobody will hire you. See, guys, in tech, to be honest with you, in tech, nobody's looking at your certificates. I'm not saying it's bad to get certificates. You can have it if you really need it. But in tech, nobody really cares about your certificates, because everybody has a certificate in tech. That BSc you have, somebody have it. That Google cert you have, somebody else have it. But what differentiates you between you and that person is the projects you're able to do and how you're able to present and market yourself. That is what differentiates you with that person. You have certs from IBM, certs from Google, certs from Microsoft. I also have that certificate. But what differentiates me from you is the project I have built, how I have built it, and the knowledge I have. That is what differentiates me from you looking for the same job. So we help you build projects that will attract a recruiter to you. So when you go for interviews, you talk about your projects. In interviews, you don't talk about your certificate or your training. A recruiter will not be asking you, did you learn Excel? Did you learn Power BI? Did you learn SQL? What he'll be asking you is, show me what you have done with Excel. Show me what you have done in Power BI. Show me what you have done in SQL. That is where your project now comes in. With your project, you present your work to the recruiter. Once they have now reviewed your work, your projects, they can now decide whether you're a good fit for them based on your soft skills. But thinking that it's a certificate that gets you the job, that is a big lie. Your project is what gives you the job. And we focus on building projects in our training. We focus on building projects in our paid training. You can see how we said we will give you 15 projects to your portfolio. We might even give you more if you see how zealous and curious you are to learn. So these are some of the reasons why you need to join Amdor Analytics. Now, like I said, these are the softwares that you need to learn: Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Now, in addition, this is the age of AI. This is the age of AI. If you're not using AI now, you're doing yourself a big disservice. If you're not using AI, you're doing yourself a big disservice. But using AI doesn't mean that you give all yourself to AI. No. That is why I kept this one first. You need to learn first of all the softwares before you start learning AI. Most persons will just dive into learning AI without understanding the underlying software. That is not what we do at Amdor Analytics. Because if you use AI to start learning and you encounter a problem, if you don't understand how the problem came to be, you won't know how to solve that problem. So what we do first of all is teach you the softwares. We teach you the foundation of what you need to know. We now teach you how to incorporate AI to those softwares, how to use AI now to solve a problem when you encounter it in those softwares. So that is what we teach you here. First, we teach you the foundation, teach you the softwares, and now teach you the AI skills you need to work with those softwares. So don't think that when you start your journey, you just jump to ChatGPT or jump to DeepSeek because you have access to it. If you don't have the underlying knowledge of how those things work, you will not know how to solve a problem when it comes in another dimension. So if that question was twisted, you will not be able to solve it because you don't understand how that question came to be. That is why we teach the software first before we teach you how to apply AI in those softwares. And this is what our normal roadmap, the Excel, Power BI, SQL, ChatGPT, which is your AI, and now you are career ready to now start looking for jobs, or maybe you can even freelance as a freelancer on Upwork, on a freelancer.com, or Fiverr, or any other platform that you find yourself. Apart from my normal day-to-day job, I also freelance. I also do freelancing. For most of you that know me outside here, you know that I do work outside my normal day-to-day full-time work. That is what the data analysis has offered me. I can still be doing my full-time work and still be doing a side hustle that is still paying me more. That is what a career in tech, a career in data analysis offers you. When you see people saying that they work remotely and they're earning in dollars, or they're earning in naira, they're earning like 400,000, 500,000 in naira, you're trying to imagine yourself earning in that amount. You have to first of all learn the softwares first, learn the career path first before you start looking for a job. Someone came to me and said that they're looking for a job. I asked them, what do you know? It was like, if I get a job now, I'll learn on the job. Guys, the time for learning on the job, to be honest with you, is when I say it's normal, it's still there, but kind of it's normal again. The time of learning on the job is normal again. You need to learn it first before coming to look for jobs. Like I said, now you're competing with AIs. Companies are almost leaving their staff out of their workforce because AI can now replace an ordinary entry level person. But if you really want to do this thing, you need to come prepared. You need to come prepared to face AI. This is not a battle between you and AI. It's not a battle between you and your fellow colleague looking for a job. Because what you know, AI might know it better. So how can you beat AI to the market for a recruiter to know that you are the right person for this job and not AI? That is where you need to invest in your career. You need to invest in your career. That's the truth about it. You need to invest in your career. You can't say you want to be a data analyst. Last year, you say you want to be a data analyst. This year, again, you want to be a data analyst. But you have not made any effort at all to push your career forward. How then do you want to make a career progress? 5 years from now, what will you be doing? Will you still be telling yourself that you want to be an analyst, or will you become that analyst you told yourself you will be? So look at yourself from now to 2030, right? 2030. Will you be an analyst that you said you will be, or will you still be telling yourself, I will be an analyst, I'll be an analyst until 2030? The choice starts from now. You need to make that decision. So I want to thank you all for coming. Now, if you're asking about our paid program, if you're interested in our paid program and you want to know about our paid program, so this is the training fee for our paid program. We are on a discount currently. We are currently on a discount, which is 300,000. The actual fee is 400,000, but currently we're on a discount, which is 300,000. The first payment is 200,000 for your first payments. The second payment, you now pay 100,000. So this is our discounted price. And be honest with you, you can't get it anywhere in the markets. You can't get it anywhere in the industry currently for a 5-month training, 3 months training, 1 month of you building your projects, and 1 month for you doing your internship. You can't get it at this price anywhere in the market currently. You can't get it anywhere in the market currently. Now, for the story, I want to tell you about somebody that went for an interview and failed that interview. Now, it's a lady that went for an interview. She finished from a training provider that we have in the country here. I won't mention the training provider's name. She finished from that training. She paid a hefty amount of money and went for the interview. Now, when she went for the interview, they simply asked her, do you know how to use Power Query? That was only the thing they asked her. Do you know how to use Power Query? Okay, they asked her, can you use Excel? She said yes, she can use Excel because she learned Excel in the training, and she was happy that she can use Excel. So they gave her some work to do, and she did it and passed. Now it was time to use Power Query, and they gave her Power Query to use for the data analysis, and she freezed it automatically. And they asked her, "Do you know how to use Power Query?" She said no, she can't use Power Query. But this was someone that went for a training for 3 good months or 2 good months to learn to become an analyst. Now, what will it profit you to learn for 2 months or 3 months? And at the end of the day, you not learn the actual skills, the actual tools that you need for the job. So what it meant is that those places that she went for training, they did not even know about Power Query. They thought everything is all about Excel. That's to show that their tutors are not even updated with the market trends. They're not even updated with what is happening in the industry. What you should always look out for is these people really updated with the market trend? Do they understand what is happening in the market? That is how you know people that are committed to serving you. Everything is not all about maybe let's get money from them and give them anything. No, because tomorrow if we don't perform well, you won't go out and talk good about us. Now that lady now, if she has friends, she won't recommend her friends to that training provider again, because in her mind they scammed her of her money. Now she had a good offer to get a job, and she lost it because she was not prepared for that job. You won't blame her actually. You won't blame her because she paid money to be taught. Now those she paid to did not give her the right tools, the right skills she needed to function and succeed in the job market. So when you see people talking about they'll do this, they'll do this, ask yourself some questions, inner questions. Will these people really deliver on the value they said they'll deliver to you? And if it's what your question is about Amdor Analytics, yes, we deliver on our value. I will show you some screenshots of people who we have trained in the past that have their testimonials. You can go to their LinkedIn and ask them questions. We are not afraid of testimonials. We are not afraid of you going to get reviews from our past students, because we know what we can offer you. When you know what you can offer, you're not afraid to show yourself out there. But if you're maybe trying to scam students or trying to hide some things, you won't really be showing yourself, or you'll be hiding some updates from students. For people who know me outside here, you know that there's one thing about me. I don't hide updates. You know that about me. I don't hide updates. Once I see it, I share it immediately. And if it's not good, I'll tell you that this is not good. I'm not somebody that tries to pamper West or try to hide things just to benefit from it. No. If it's not good, I'll tell you it's not good. Anything that I join, you should know that that thing is of value to you. It should be of value to you, because I benefit from it. You should also benefit from it. So I'm trying. What I'm trying to do here is to help you make a choice, because honestly, you have to learn this skill. I've seen many of you sending me DM, even on the group, that you really want to learn this thing, you want to make an investment this year, but you don't know how to start. It starts from now. It starts from you making a decision to make your payments. For 5 good months, we will take you hand by hand, stage by stage. Everything you need to know to become an analyst. We're not hiding anything from you. We'll tell it to you as it is in the markets. So this is our days of training, Saturdays and Sundays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Thursdays with our mentorship session. So Thursdays we have our mentorship session. So if you have anything that is bothering you, anything that you need to ask about, or maybe you need more clarification, you can book a session on Thursday with your instructor, one-on-one, only you and your instructor, and he or she will put you through your confusion or try to clarify you. So for those that asking about Power Query, how to use it with a pivot table to do analysis, this is where you now get that one-on-one training with your teacher. So that thing that is confusing you, you now get a one-on-one direction and instruction on how to solve it. After 3 months, you get a 1-month capstone project. For 1 month, you will be building projects, because that is what makes you stand out in the industry. And for the other 1 month, you're doing a visual internship with us. It's online. Everything is online. In this internship, we tell you how to get jobs, the sites you go to get jobs, how to build your CV, how to reach out to a employer that is hiring, how to post online, how to market yourself online, whether on Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook. These are what we teach you during your virtual internship. So we don't teach you for 3 months and tell you to go and look for a job. No, we still guide you because you're like you're like a newbie, a baby that just came out from the mommy's tummy. So we are still going to guide you until you're able to crawl, until you're able to walk, before we can now say, okay, we have trained you enough. You can now go and progress in the market. So our discount is available for the first 25 persons to register. You can send me a DM or you can post in the group. Our salespersons are there to attend to you. And our cohort starts on the 22nd of February. So this February on the 22nd, our cohort will be starting. Now, these are some of our testimonials. Like I said, we are not really afraid or shy to share testimonials. Our students are succeeding out there, and we are always proud of them, and we always share their stories. That's one thing about Amdor Analytics. We always share our stories. So if you really want, maybe you have questions to ask them, maybe you want to verify, get your reviews from them to be sure you're making your decisions. These are some of our students. You take their names, go on LinkedIn, ask them question about Amdor Analytics. If maybe, because most of us will always want to get a review of our training before you can commit yourself. If you're among those who want to get a review, you can meet our students there, ask them question about Amdor Analytics. Just be honest with yourself and ask them question. I know that once they got value from us, they won't be shy to recommend us to you. So these are some of our students on LinkedIn that you can reach out to and ask them anything about us. And during your training, these are the some of the dashboards you'll be building. These are some of the things you'll be building, both in Power BI, both in Excel, both in SQL. These are things you'll be building as a data analyst, because these are things you need in the market. Not really that you did data analysis or you studied at Amdor. They will ask you what are the projects you have built as an analyst. That is why we equip you with relevant projects that makes you stand out in the market. So if you're trying to build projects or you're trying to learn how to build dashboards, this is why you should join our paid programs. We take you step by step, hand by hand, until you master all these things. These things are not hard if you commit yourself to it. They're not really hard if you really commit yourself to it. So these are most of the things that we do at Amdor Analytics. So I will stop here for now. I would love to get your questions, please. Any question?
Yeah, Spaniel, good evening. Yeah, hello.
I can hear you, sir.
I want to know, yes, after loading the, you spoke about the file that have up to 20 million to Power Query. Now, can you build a pivot table in a cell with that data after you have transformed it in the Power Query? How can you build the dashboard using that data? Is it possible? And secondly, the time, where is your office? And that time, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Isn't that late, considering how the insecurity now? So please, I want to know that time is it not late, and where is your office? Thank you, sir.
Okay. First of all, let me answer your question on Power Query. So yes, you can connect your Power Query data to pivot table to do your visual. But like I said, it's not my agenda for this training. My agenda for this training is just to show you how Power Query helps you to transform data and load it to Excel. So if you now want to build your visuals from Excel on Excel using the data from Power Query, yes, you can do it. But that is not my agenda for today's class. These are things you will learn in the paid program. These are things you have
You
for you in
cannot
the
give me
training
the clip
program.
how to go about it.
No, sir, this is not my training for it. So for our office, we our office is based in Lagos. That is a Alodumage. I'll get the address and send to you. But for the training, it is only online. The training is online. What you're doing is online training. We don't have a physical training for now. What we're doing is online training. So if you really want to join us, and yes, you have to join us, you register online. So it's a 3 months training, 1 month project
But
building, and one
if,
month internship.
if it's online, someone will need data now. Won't you give more discount because we still use need data? Understand?
Yeah,
Because you will still need data to be. So isn't that much since it's online? At least there should be more discount now. Understand?
we are
Because we still spend money to
we
get
are we
data.
are we are giving you the discount already. We went from 400 to 300. It's not a discount enough for you. We have
Because
went from
I
400
thought
to
it's a,
300.
you cannot compare a contact class, physical class with online. I hope you know it's online.
If you're if
Network,
you're
some
doing if you're doing a physical class, hope you know you pay double of that amount. If you're doing
Much
physical
more
class,
than double.
hope you know you pay double that amount. Just go and ask for physical classes. Go just do your research. Go for physical classes, do your research. You pay double than that amount. But we're giving you online class and still giving you a discount, and you say it's too much. Well, I don't know what to say on that on that. But do your research for those that do physical classes, and based on what we are offering you, and see whether it is not double that amount, and you know that you come back to us. And if you see the same amount we are giving you, you will see that the number of months that they're offering you will be less than our own. We're giving you 5 months, 3 months of training, 1 month to build projects, and 1 month for your internship. Not everyone gives you internship, but we're giving you internship just to help you build yourself more as you're now waiting for your job offer. But others will give you 1 month, sometimes 2 months, and after training they will leave you. So if you're not convinced with what we are giving you, that's why I say go and do your review. This is the best you can get in the market. This is the best you can get in the market. Everybody that know me know that yes, I don't affiliate with things that I don't trust or what I can't recommend. This is the best you can get in the market. But if you're not convinced or you think that the money is too much, well, we have tried our best. Going from 400 to 300 for 5 months, I don't think you can get it anywhere in the market. I don't think so. Thank you. Any other question, please? Any other question?
Well, mine is not a question. Mine is just a kind of encouragement and a little of my story. Let me just share with a few people. You might, and at the same time, I want to encourage everyone not to have too, don't be too hard on yourself when you start this program. Um, just look at the end results. Sometimes when I feel so tired and I don't want to practice, I look at, okay, what should be my motivation? I think the motivation should be the end result of, okay, why do I want to do this? I think I'm tired of jumping from one office to another. At a certain stage of my life, I want to work from the comfort of my home. I want to be able to travel to my children and see what they're doing without this affecting my job in any way. And the only thing that can do that for me is to work remotely. If I'm going to be working remotely, of course, we've got so many options. But which one do I think I have to do that's worth the stress, worth the money, and worth the comfort? And in all fairness, I'm not saying because Mr. Ifeanyi is one of my tutors or is my main tutor here with Amdor, I've tried different platforms, even the ones that we had to pay in hard currency. But I can tell you that Amdor outstands them all. I am not trying to be boastful. It's not long I started with them. I just started with them in January. And Amdor isn't the first platform that I will join to learn this. But Amazon makes it so simplified. You can't finish and hide if only you don't have an aim or you just want to do it for the fun of it. Really want to do it to achieve what you are doing. And you want your own self-driven attitude to continue to encourage you and what you aim at a certain stage of your life, right? Although people will say, oh, it's because we're not serious about it from when you started last year. That was why it's as if you didn't see results.
I wasn't the only one that started with the other platforms I'm talking about. So I won't say because I wasn't serious or because I aimed at starting such a live maybe in 2 years, and between now and 2 years I want to have become a guru. And what I heard from Mr. Efrain was, oh, why do you want to wait until if you learn it now you can achieve it now? Yeah, start with this. Go and refurbish your LinkedIn, start doing this challenge, this practice. Okay, like today. Oh, yesterday I was like, oh, I want to post this video. I couldn't find it. Instead of him to say, okay, this is where to find it, he said, do it again. If you do it again, you master it. And I'm like, okay, I've tried it. When I did it again, what took me like 20 something minutes when I did it the first time, the second time I did it, it took me like 11 minutes. By the time I tried to still clean the same data, I took less than 5 minutes. And I was like, wow, indeed, the more you do it, some of the questions that I was struggling with to find the formula. And one other thing, anytime, any day, I am saying it with my whole chest. Send a message to Mr. Ifeanyi. He's there to respond. And I'll be wondering that, isn't this man sleep? Doesn't he sleep or something? Whether you are within Nigeria or you are elsewhere, timing, whatever timing of each country doesn't, is not a barrier for him. I think I'll give him kudos for that. I'll just encourage everyone, not because you're doing a 3 months program, 1 month for this, and 1 month for, and you expect magic to happen by the end of the 5th month. If they are holding your hand to move and you choose to stay on a spot, there is nothing the company will do for you. So when they say move this way, do this one, just follow them, obey it. I'm a bit behind because some of my assignments have not been done, but I can tell you even the little I have done. So if I'm saying this, I spoke with Cherish, and the guy, very young guy among us, is doing so well. Like it's one of the people that are actually pushing me in trying to attempt mine. Be like, wow, look at what this guy has posted. Look at this, look at that. You definitely challenge yourself. And the money is, compared to what value you're going to get, as he has mentioned, the money is not much. Just look at, okay, what do I need to sacrifice at this time to achieve this skill? And what do I stand to gain by the time I achieve this skill? Just put all this whole thing together. I think it's worth pursuing. That's just what I have to say.
All right, thank you, Madam Fumi. Thank you very much for that kind words. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. So, guys, the decision is yours, and I really want you to join. I really want you to join. Honestly, I really want you to join. I really want you to look back at 5 years from now and we say that yes, you made the right decision to join Amdor to learn your skills. Many of you know me here, and I know that many of you come to me and say, "Sir, I want to be like you. Sir, I wish I will take your brain and put in my brain." Many of you say it when you meet me, and I will laugh. But you don't know the investment I did to get here. So it's not by telling you want to be like me. You have to invest something. If it's Kana Ayodele, he will tell you that you have to make a sacrifice. So yes, you must make a sacrifice. And that sacrifice starts this night. It starts by joining us. It starts by making a decision to pay and join our paid program. All these things you're asking me about Power Query, Power Pivot, you're confusing it. Once you start the program, after your first month, second month, if you're confused again, honestly, I'll pay you back your money. That is it about it. If after your first month and 2 months with us, and you're still confused about Power Query, when to use it, when to use Power Pivot, I'll pay you back your money. You can go elsewhere and look for training because we will not give you the value you're looking for. So please, this is not to boast or trying to sell, but it's trying to tell you exactly what you stand to gain if you make a decision. It starts with a decision, and I believe that you will make the right decision. So again, I want to thank everyone for joining. We're almost out of our time already. I want to thank everyone for coming to our second day of this, and hopefully this is the final day for our session. So the rest will now be communicated in our different channels. Again, the recording will be shared with you like we shared yesterday's own. So if you have any questions at all, you have any concern, I'm there in the groups to take your questions. If you want to make your payment, our salespersons are all in the channels there to attend to you. So anything you want at all, we are all there to serve you. So thank you everyone for coming out for today's session. I really hope that this year will be the year you achieve your career goals. This year will be the year you start earning money that will make you start saying wow, wow, wow. Because you see your guy telling you at the end.
Amen. No, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
This year will be
Because
the year that will be more intentional. If you want to
amen.
achieve it, you've got to work for it.
Amen. Yes, ma.
Amen.
Yes, ma.
Thank you,
So
sir.
all right, ma. So I thank you all for coming. So I will see you all maybe anywhere we meet ourselves. So take care and good night.